So let's get to it. All right, y'all. This is episode 2. I'm still working through my kind of podcast name. I've been filling some things out, so we're gonna go with office hours today. So this episode 2 of the Office Hours podcast. I'm Shannon Jackson, you understand me? And today we're gonna just get into a couple little topics. I know I want to talk about some music. I want to talk about some of the albums I've been listening to and kind of give my take and opinion on them. Stuff I've been listening for a little bit. These aren't things that like came out last week or anything. And then I have a topic that I want to like briefly discuss, and then I'm gonna get out your way. You feel me? So first, let's start with the music and the albums that I've been listening to. I picked two particular albums that I want to talk about today, and those are albums by the those are Her Loss by Drake and 21 Savage and SOS by SZA. Like those are really albums that I've been listening to pretty consistently. And I'm gonna start with the Her Loss joint because Drake is just Drake to me. Like any project Drake put out, I'm gonna at least listen to and see and give my true honest attention to kind of see if I like it. And Her Loss is no different than any of the other projects that he's put out. I like. And every album that Drake puts out has one or two joints on it that I just not feeling. And on the Her Loss, that was no different. Privileged Rapper, I wasn't too much of a fan of. And hold on, let me pull it up because I don't even got these particular songs on my phone no more because they just not really my thing, you feel me? And you don't have to like an album front to back for it to not be trash. So what's the other song? Privileged Rappers, Hours in Silence, Treacherous Twins. Those three just not really my joints. But everything else kind of really slap. I like how it started out with Rich Flex. Like I like how he kind of lead 21 Savage into that joint, and it keeps going with Major Distribution on that BS. Back Outside Boys. Spin About You was the first joint that kind of came up that was kind of different when I first listened to it. And obviously it got an R&B feel to it, but they rap on that joint and it grew on me. You know what I'm saying? When I listened to it the first time, it really wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't my jam. But as you continue to listen to it, it kind of just grew on me a bit. And I think that's an interesting thing about um, music. We kind of want to give a immediate reaction to something that we're listening to, and it's like it's either good or it's trash. And if we don't like something right away, we deem it as trash. But sometimes you gotta kind of let something sit with you a bit. You gotta let art sit with you a bit, and then kind of determine if it's really not great or if it's something in there that just didn't hit right away that you just kind of had to like let marinate a little bit. So that's how Spin About You was. But then as you keep going through that joint, it's just like rapping. It's not like it's rap that got the most substance to it or anything like that. But it's just stuff that's gonna slap in the whip, stuff that you'll continue to play. And that's kind of what Drake and especially Drake and 21 Savage, they put out stuff like that. And I'm feeling it. Like I kind of really appreciate the stuff that Drake put out, whether it's just him spitting like bars or like him singing or talking about his life and his feelings and stuff like that. Like the full spectrum of Drake, I'm really just like feeling. And 21 Savage held his own on that joint too, like straight. He came with the bars and he was just 21 Savage. He ain't try to be somebody he wasn't. He just was who he was. So overall, Her Loss was like a B plus to me. It's pretty solid album, something that's gonna continue to get listened to as I continue to move throughout this year. The SZA album, I've really been excited to talk about because, like, obviously, I'm a fan of the projects that she put out, and this one kind of was no different. And what I enjoyed about it wasn't just one type of music. She gave us a lot of different feels to the songs. Like you had stuff that was like really acoustic, whether it was just like acoustic guitar leading the beat, or it was like rap beats, or it was like your R&B ballads. Like she gave it was one song on there that had more like a pop feel to it, a couple of them joints. And it just was cool. Like, it's a cool listening experience from front to back, and I l even though it was a longer project, like, I think it's 23 joints on it, and that's a pretty long project, but it listens really smooth. It reminds me of that Her album that came out, I think it was, like, 2016. That joint was pretty long too, but it plays so smooth, like, you can play it and just let the tracks run, and they be talking about some stuff on them joints too, but it's just music that can play, and that scissor joint is that same kinda way. I I'm kinda mad about the Kill Bill joint because I feel it, like, it's a smooth joint, but talking about killing your ex, like, I I can't get with that, but the joint is smooth and it's catchy, and there's some other joints on there that she really just, like, talking her stuff as far as, like, things that she did that she felt she could have done better, like things people that she missed that she not with no more, people that kinda messed her over that she glad she's moved past, like, it's a full range of emotion on that project, and it's just something, like I said, you can really just, like, listen to for real and kinda just vibe to whether you working, cleaning, driving, whatever it is that you're doing, you can kinda put that joint on and kinda feel it, so that's just kinda what I've been listening to. It's been some other stuff I've been listening to. I've been like the Lil Baby joint, that joint still like that slap for real, and there's some other projects that I've been listening to, but those are 2 that I kinda wanted to hit on and talk about a bit to kinda start this off until we get into our kinda discussion portion of what it is that we talking about today, and this is something I've really been thinking about a lot when it comes to listening to people and talking to people about and just kinda like hearing what they say, whether it's their motivation of how they're doing things or why they're doing things. And this kinda like revenge motivation is kinda something that we're doing. I think it's pretty toxic because you're being driven by something negative. I heard somebody say on a podcast one day when it came to working out, a lot of times we all have a physique that we kind of want or kind of work towards if we're going to the gym or just people who scroll on Instagram and see a particular body type that they like. And what the woman said was, if you're changing your body or you're going to the gym from a place of negativity where it's like, I hate my love handles, or dislike the fact that my chest looks like this, or I hate the fact that my shoulders are so whatever. It comes with you into the gym and you're really working from a place of hate versus a place of kind of, I love the body that I'm in right now. I'm content with the space that I'm in right now, but I want to work towards going here. And that's just like a really different thought process than coming from a place of hate or from a place of self degradation or just tearing yourself down in order to change. And normally we are in these spaces where we're being driven by people not believing in us, and Imma show them that I was always able to X, Y, and Z, and it's like this poison that's driving you, and even though it's giving you motivation, it's giving you energy, it's amping you, it's getting you ready to do your thing, what if that ever runs out, you know? Like, what if you come to a place where you're healed from that relationship? Or what if you come to a place where you're no longer angry with that person? Or what if you just get out of that angry, hateful space and you don't really have it anymore? You don't have the motivation to push on anymore because your whole thing was having this chip on your shoulder. And what if that chip goes away? Then what do you do? Do you still have the same drive or the same commitment or the same kind of like zeal for life? Or has that chip on your shoulder has that just been the thing that's kind of pushed you forward the whole time? And I think that's something that we need to actually like just look into because we have a potential that we can unlock without the animosity of our past or the things that have hurt us or the people that have hurt us. There's a whole other way of getting up in the morning and attacking your day and not just like, these people didn't believe in me, da 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 da. You can actually keep that same energy and do it for one, yourself, and the people who actually do believe in you, the people who actually care about you, the people who actually want to see you win. And that's a more, in my opinion, that's a more fulfilling lane to be in when it's like, I'm working hard for my family. Like I go hard every day for the people who support me, for the people who are relying on me, the people who look forward to seeing my content, like not the people who think I'm going to fail cuz whether I pass or fail or succeed or whatever, they're going to just move the goalpost and find something else to tear me down about. But the people who rolling and rocking and riding with me and on this journey, they're gonna always be excited about the stuff that I'm doing and the projects that I'm working on. So it's a lot more of a fun space to do what you are doing from a space of love and not a space of kind of, how do I want to say it? Proving people wrong. So you can continue to like prove the doubters wrong or prove the haters wrong. And we all got a little bit of that in us. It feel good when you thrive when people felt like you were never going to be able to do it. But you kind of don't want to be fueled by negativity because you kind of are left with the underlying bitterness and you kind of don't want to stay in that space. Like you kind of want to move away from that. And lastly, a lot of times it's kind of like how when we watch the Chicago Bulls documentary, I can't remember what it's called right now. Michael Jordan would make up these kind of stories to get him going. And I think that's pretty appropriate for what I'm trying to say. A lot of times we think more people are hating on us than actually are. Like you don't have as many haters as you think you have. For the most part, most people don't really care about what it is you have going on. They move on once something hits the news cycle, whether you're famous or just the news cycle of your regular village. It is talked about for a minute and then people move on. Like people honestly don't care. So you don't have to be like, all these people hating, or like when Cat Williams say, if you only got 100 haters, you need to work on getting 125. I guarantee you, you probably don't have 100 haters right now. Like you probably don't. You probably don't have 50. You probably don't have 25. You probably got a couple people hating on you, and you just kind of growing this number in your mind to kind of keep you going. Not as many people hating on you as you think they are. So you can really just get up and do your thing and live your life and grind and work through your processes of being great without building this mountain of haters. Who cares if people hating on you? And if people are actually hating on you, that kind of makes your life harder than it needs to be because you got people actually trying to tear you down. So that's not really the goal to have people hating on you anyway. Obviously, you can't control that if people are going to, but that's not really what I'm looking for. People hating on me. I would rather just do my thing and stay out the way, like my man did on that, just staying out the way, you feel me? That's all I'm trying to do. So, with that being said, just keep those things in mind. Like nothing that I'm saying you have to just like adhere to. I'm just talking, but just give you some things to think about. Like if you're operating in that kind of like hater mindset where it's like I got to get people hating on me, just kind of reevaluate why you want that, why you're trying to do that, why you're trying to get people to hate on you. Like my goal is to stay out the way and have some fun in this life that we got. But that's all I have for y'all today. I appreciate you guys listening, you ladies listening who got all the way to the end of this. I feel like I was talking fast today. Like in my ears, like it's like a 2 second delay. So like I can't really tell if I'm talking fast. The last video I felt like I was talking super slow. But whatever. I thank y'all for listening. We're gonna get this together next week. Hopefully we get one out next week, but I'll be here talking again about something. I'll probably do some movie reviews or some more music or something. I'll try to start these out with that's more pop culture or relevant to what's happening in our society before I start getting off on my tangent. But yeah, that's that. Also check out the podcast I have with my girlfriend. We different. We dropping our first podcast episode that we taped a couple weeks ago this week coming up. So be on the lookout for that. And we just got some other projects happening. So stay tuned. Be a friend, tell a friend. I'm gonna talk to this camera too. Be a friend, tell a friend about what we got going on here. And live your life and have a good time. We only get one. Peace.